Hi, and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Lee J, and we are going to listen to some music today that is right. Look at that. We got the shoulders going.
Shoulders.
We're going to check out some more Led Zeppelin. I just did a reaction to That's the Way, and I want to read a couple of your comments. Julie Mandarin 4127 writes, in all caps, greatest band in history! Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. Live magnificent. She also writes, JPJ on mandolin and bass pedals. So that is John Paul Jones, which I learned from the next comment by Ron Hawk-EB1CN. He wrote, John Paul Jones is playing the mandolin. Jimmy Page is on the acoustic guitar. Ron also made a request. There is another song from this set called Going to California. This is a good listen. And that's what we are going to check out today. We're going to get right to it. Here's Going to California, performed live at Earl's Court in 1975. And of course, we will check out the lyrics after we listen. Here we go.
Spend my days with a woman unkind, smoke my stuff and drank all my wine. Made up my mind, making you start, going to California with an aching in my heart. Someone told me there's a girl out there with love in her eyes and flowers in her hair. My chances on a big jet plane. Never let them tell you that we're all the same. The sea was red and the sky was gray. I wondered how tomorrow could ever follow today. Mountains and the canyons start to tremble and shake. The children of the sun begin to awake. It seemed that the wrong of the rock's got a punch on the nose and it's starting to flow. I think I might be sinking. Throw me a line if I reach it in time. I see you up there with the passman strand.
Okay, don't hate me. I have to stop the video. You all know why. No! Also, I just have to say, I know the song. I've heard it before. Oh my gosh. I mean, if there is a studio version that's different from this version, they sound really, really similar. Otherwise, I just don't know the song well enough to really differentiate, which says so much about their live performance. It means that they are that great, that they sound, I mean, like my ears cannot tell the difference between this live version and the studio version that I've heard. I haven't carefully listened to it, but I know I've heard the song before. My ears are very, very happy right now.
Very happy.
And I love that these guys, respectfully, it looks like they just woke up, their hair looks amazing, and they perform this show at Earl's Court. Look at that hair. Look at this hair. Magnificent.
They say she plays guitar and cries and sings. Oh, she sings. Ride a white mare in the footsteps of dawn, trying to find a woman who's never, never, never been born. Oh. Standing on a hill in the mountain of dreams, telling myself it's not as hard, hard, hard as it seems.
Look at this amazing golden hair. His golden locks are just beautiful with that light shining from above. Wow, what an image. I mean, can you imagine being front row at the show? Robert Plant, Jimmy Page, and then JPJ on mandolin just in front of you sounding so phenomenal live. You know that movie Inside Out where we have like different layers, different levels of memories? I could see this being a very strong memory. Just seeing Robert Plant in front of you with his beautiful, luxurious golden mane of hair. And I did notice the open shirt, yes.
As my open shirt might suggest.
When he sang that word, hard, 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 I mean, that really is such a good example of him like crying that sound. And it was nasally, and yet it sounded emotional. It didn't sound bad. Sometimes when the sound is too nasally, I'm not a huge fan of it. I don't really like that tone. And yet there's something about the way he sang it. It just hits you. Like I felt it. I could feel that note. I'm assuming this live performance is before the days of click tracks, like live click tracks. Drop a comment below. I mean, their timing, that rhythm, they're just so in sync. And I loved the little like guitar melodies that Jimmy Page was just playing over and over. They're very simple, but they really make those guitar lines memorable. You know, simple is surprisingly hard because you have to come up with something that people want to listen to that hasn't been done before, that works for this song. We're going to get into these lyrics. Here are the lyrics to Going to California. Honestly, I was listening so much to just the vibe, like the sounds. I wasn't really paying attention to the lyrics, so I'm excited to dive in and see what they are writing about. Okay, here is verse 1. Spent my days with a woman unkind. Ooh, what a great way to say mean. Spent my days with a woman unkind. Smoked my stuff and drank all my wine. Made up my mind to make a new start. Going to California with an aching in my heart. Wow, poetry. Beautiful. Someone told me there's a girl out there with love in her eyes and flowers in her hair. So here's another song where Robert is singing about searching for someone, right? He is seeking something beyond where he currently is. It gives me the sense of the grass is greener on the other side, right? Because the truth is, are there kind women? Absolutely. I believe they're out there. Do we all have a shadow? 100%. You get to know someone well enough, you're going to see parts of them that you do not like.
You're a mean, mean lady.
And then the other part of me is thinking, we attract who we are. And I'm sure that he seems like someone who really knew how to have a good time, if you know what I mean. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So honestly, it's not a surprise that he meets somebody who smoked all of his stuff and drank all of his wine. But I also understand that feeling of wanting something better, right? He is fantasizing that there is a girl out there. I think that's interesting that he calls this fantasy female a girl, right? It implies like innocence. Someone told me there's a girl out there with love in her eyes and flowers in her hair.
You have flowers in your hair.
That's very interesting that they start off with woman unkind, which is the person he's with, and he's seeking this girl out there. Okay, here's the next verse. Took my chances on a big jet plane. Never let him tell you that they're all the same. Oh, the sea was red and the sky was gray. I wonder how tomorrow could ever follow today. The mountains and the canyons start to tremble and shake. The children of the sun begin to wake. Watch out. So this second verse is, to me, less like clear in the storyline.
I don't get it.
It paints a beautiful picture. So he's going to California. I'm assuming he's going to California on this big jet plane. And the second line, I'm not sure if he's referring to the plane or the women or something else. But this image of the sea was red and the sky was gray is so, it's just interesting. It's such a cool image. It has a very somber, dark feeling. The sky was gray. If the sea is red, that just seems like foreshadowing. And then this line, I wonder how tomorrow could ever follow today. That gives me a sense of like sadness, hopelessness. Let me know in the comment below if you are getting that same message. Okay, third verse. It seems that the wrath of the gods got a punch on the nose. And it's starting to flow. I think I might be sinking. Throw me a line. If I reach it in time, I'll meet you up there where the path runs straight and high. Wow, interesting. So even going back to the second verse, right? The end of the second verse where he says, Or he sings, the mountains and the canyons start to tremble and shake. The children of the sun begin to awake. And connecting that to, it seems that the wrath of the gods got a punch on the nose. And it's starting to flow. I think I might be sinking. The wrath of the gods got a punch on the nose. Is he implying that they got a punch on the nose by the one and only almighty God, like the God of all gods? Or who did they get a punch from? Let me know in the comments.
You're overthinking it.
I mean, this image of the mountains and the canyons trembling and shaking, the children of the sun begin to awake. That to me, because I believe in a one God, the one and only God above. That to me, I read that as the one and only God is appearing to all the, the wannabe gods, the fake gods of this earth. And that is why these little gods feel like they got a punch on the nose.
You're not God.
Are you getting that same feeling from reading these lyrics? Question mark? Okay, last line. Oh, and just as an aside, I really appreciate and respect that a song like this, it's not like quote unquote structured like a regular pop song where there's a verse, a chorus, a verse, a chorus, maybe a pre-chorus, maybe a bridge. It just flows and it's very natural. They do some very cool, interesting musical changes. I feel like it might even do like a little key change of some kind. I could be wrong, but that's what my ears heard. So instead of having to write this like big chorus to keep the listener engaged and interested, they just have Robert Plant's voice, these poetic lyrics, and then some very interesting musical choices, and that keeps us engaged. Last verse. To find a queen without a king. I heard this when he sang that, and I'm just going to state for the record that I have a song called King Without a Queen. I've never released it, but I wrote it many years ago when I was in music school. So to read this line is so cool. It's so cool. So he's saying it the other way. To find a queen without a king. They say she plays guitar and cries and sings la la la. Whoa. Ride a white mare in the footsteps of dawn, trying to find a woman who's never, never, never been born. Standing on a hill in the mountain of dreams, telling myself it's not as hard as it seems. I'm really letting all these lyrics sink in and marinate. I noticed this in, I believe it was the song Ramble On. Some of the lyrics seem to reference Lord of the Rings. And I'm getting that vibe again, that they are referencing like a different century, a different time period. He's talking about queens and kings and the white mare in the footsteps of dawn. The footsteps of dawn. Drop a comment below. What does that mean to you? Trying to find a woman who's never, never, never been born. This last verse and then this first verse, to me, reads as if he is searching for someone that is a figment of his imagination. A woman who is just so pure and so innocent, and she has love in her eyes, flowers in her hair. She plays guitar and cries and sings. And then he ends the song with the line, telling myself it's not as hard as it seems. Interesting. I wonder if he's saying it's not as hard as I think it is to find this girl, or if she's telling him through her music that life is not as hard as it seems. Another thing that makes the song very cool is that the storyline doesn't have to make sense. You know, I as the listener, you as the listener, we can create our own narrative and interpret things with our imagination. Imagination. I really appreciate and admire that. Amazing. Thank you so much for checking out this reaction video and for spending some time together. Drop a comment below. Let me know if you ever got to see Led Zeppelin live. How was the show? Did they sound phenomenal? As I listen to this recording of them live at Earl's Court, they sound like a studio band. They could have released this as a live version, and maybe they did, and I'm just not aware of it. Drop a comment below if there's another Led Zeppelin song that you would love for me to react to, or if there's another band you want me to check out. And while you are down there, make sure to smash all those very important buttons. Give this video a like and a share, and, you know, maybe an angel will get its wings. You never know. On that note, wherever you are, be healthy, be blessed, and until next time.
So